Willie.
You little stupid ass bitch. I ain't fucking with you.
Thank you. Well, you better get something leased right meow. You're being too loud. Being too loud. Let me pull something up for you right quick. Let me pull something up for you. Okay. So here's what we got. I want to talk to you about double closes. So what I've got here is I've got one of our HUDs. I think it's pretty recent. See if I can zoom in on it. Zoom in. Ooh, there it is. So we work with the same title company over and over again. We have a really good working relationship with them. So spooning them like using them, and they like the consistency of it. But we recently had a deal, and I'll break this down. Oh, I got to erase little Emery. Got to erase little M's, but we had a property. I'll bring this back like this. We had a property that lead comes in on a bandit sign, and it was a total turd. It's in Corsicana, Texas. Just one of those things where you think maybe you might want to do something with it, but we didn't know exactly what we wanted to do with it. So I told Nick, I was like, just offer 5,000, see if they take it. If you offer 5 and they take it, good, great, whatever. If they don't, we're not going to lose anything. So he offered 5, they countered 6, so he contracted it. Now, on a deal that low, you would be thinking, well, why would I need to double close? Well, you had somebody that was wanting $25,000 for a condemned house that needed a bunch of work. We put an option on it. And we started marketing it in the buy-sell trade groups. We started marketing it in the buy-sell trade groups for $25,000 owner finance. So the idea is that we have an option on it. We offer it up owner finance. We secure an owner finance buyer, and then we close on it and do a double close in that situation where we close on the purchase side. We then establish a note and deed of trust with our buyer, and we'll double close like that. What ends up happening is, Jesus, y'all, come on. So what ends up happening is we market it out on Facebook Marketplace. We end up with 2 different offers. We end up with a guy with $3,500 down that's going to buy it for $25,000, and we end up with another guy that offers. He offered $10,000 cash for it. So knowing that we have a contract for $6,000 and we're selling it for $10,000, it's like, that's, I don't know what percentage of the purchase price that is. Let me see. 10,000 or 4,000 divided by 6. That's 66% of the purchase price is basically the assignment fee. So you've got a seller that wanted 25. They're now only getting 6. There's probably going to be a shitload of taxes that come out of it, so they might not walk with a lot of money. But it is a problem house. It's been condemned. The city's on their ass. They're going to have to do something with it. So, it don't have a lot of value anyways. But now they're going to see on the HUD, they're going to see that you're making $4,000, which might be more than they're walking with. In this particular situation, if there's any taxes at all owed on it, which I'm guessing that they haven't paid at least 2019's taxes that at this time of year are going to come out of the sale. So Jason is like, oh, we need to double close that. But here's the deal. So I'm going to add this up. I've got the closing costs over here. I'm going to put it up on the board. Bam. Nope, wrong button. Bam. Here we go. Okay, so I've got the closing cost up. You can see the escrow fees. And again, this title company's really fucking expensive. These escrow fees are out of line, but you've got $475 in escrow fee. You've got a $78 tax certificate. Okay. You've got $47. And then the title insurance on these small transactions is something like $238. This one's a little bit higher, but normally they're $238. Okay. and maybe you don't need title insurance on the first transaction, so maybe it doesn't show up. But if you're paying all of the closing costs on which you would normally write your contract to pay all the closing costs, then you're also going to have the document prep, which on this particular one's 175, and releases a deed recording fee of 136. So if you double close, there's a couple of different ways to do this. You know, a double close is I don't want to see my seller to see what I'm making on the deal, so I'm going to double close to try to hide it. Okay. This particular deal, it's a little bitty assignment fee, but it's a big portion of the price. So when Jason thinks, hey, we need to double close this, he's in the right train of thought. The problem is the end buyer, okay, you're going to pay 2 sets of closing costs. So you're definitely at that $6,000 purchase price. If you pay all the closing costs, which is how it's wrote up, then this is going to be times 2. That's not you're not going to pay for that but once, and you're going to pay for this. So anyways, if you just pay for this on your side, if all you do is only pay for the closing that you have with the seller, and you put that you pay all closing costs, you got 475 times 2 plus 78 plus 147 plus 238 plus 175 plus 136 equals $1,724. Now, keep in mind, your assignment fee, or your what you're going to make, your spread, because you're not doing it on an assignment, is only $4,000. So you're basically giving up half of your assignment fee in closing costs. Now your end buyer will also be taxed. He'll also be taxed for another set of closing costs whenever he buys. So he'll have another $1,700. So his $10,000 purchase goes all the way to $1,724 as well. Now that's going to happen to him regardless if you assign or whatever. But on this particular transaction, on this particular one that I'm talking about with the $10,000, I'm going to move back over to here. You know, we nixed the idea of a double close. It was like, you know, it's a small deal. You don't want to make more than your seller ever, but on small deals, that's going to happen. And that would be an instance where you'd want to double close because you might be making more than the seller. I would never make more than the seller personally on an assignment or anything like, you know, on a big transaction deal, like you're buying a house for 40 and you're assigning it for 50,000. Like title companies are having big issues with that these days, so they're not going to want to do it. So on this one with the $4,000 assignment and having all of this come out of it, we just did a straight assignment on it. Like we just filled out an assignment contract. The end buyer brought a $7,000 check to the title company for escrow. I don't know why he did that, but you know, it's whatever. He's only got a little bit more to come up with at closing. So we're going to take the $4,000 assignment, and this group of closing costs is going to get passed on to him. So he's going to pay $1,700, but there's going to be nothing coming out of our fee. The thing to consider when you're doing a double close, some people, you know, they're like, what fee is too big? What fee is too big for a double close? Well, I would say, or what fee is too small for a double close? You need to be mindful. You need to be very, very mindful of what your closing costs are. You need to be mindful of the fact that you're going to have to pay double closing costs. The other thing that comes into play that a lot of people overlook, and let me see if I can pull it up on here. I'll show it to you. That is not it. Here it is right here. I'll pull it up. Bang! Look at this. This right here. Oh, it's not on there. See it? That's the county taxes. So normally at the beginning of the year, these don't really hurt you that much. But this particular, you know, you can see here that we made $5,300 on it. A big portion of that are these prorated taxes. Okay. So if you're going to double close, you're going to pay prorated taxes, and then you're going to get them back when your end buyer when your end buyer buys, his taxes are going to be prorated too. So, it's kind of a wash in that scenario, but it's something that you need to be mindful of on a normal transaction. Sometimes when we're selling a property, even if it would be on a double close, so we would get the credit for the prorated taxes, which would come out of the sales price, and then from there, let me get this back, and then from there we would say no prorated taxes on our contract to our buyer. So our buyer then has, he's not getting credit for the prorated taxes. So in this particular transaction, it would mean an extra $1,200 in our pocket just for putting that language in the special provisions on our contract. So it's something you need to be mindful of when you're double closing. You want the prorated taxes from your seller, okay? But when you're selling it to your end buyer, you want to put some language in there that in the special provisions that say taxes will not be prorated, no prorated taxes, whatever it is. So you don't have to give that credit, which basically means, you're getting taxed for the entire year, even though you didn't own the property at all for the entire year. You got that credit when you bought it, and you're keeping it by not passing it on to the end buyer. You know what I mean? Some investors are pretty wise to it. They'll understand what that means, and they won't go for it. On a higher end property, on something that's going to have $6,000 or $7,000 worth of taxes, it's going to be a significant pay raise for you if you can pull it off. If you can't, then it's whatever. But it's something that you can always shoot for. So I wanted to talk about this. I don't know. Can't see my comments. Pretty sure we got sound this time. Whichever the two people that are watching, I think I'm one of them. So that's wonderful. Got my phone charging, so that's good. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what a double close is. It's whenever you want your seller to not see what you're making. It's when you don't want necessarily your buyer to see what your assignment fee is, and you want to try to hide that. You can double close, but in these smaller deals, you'll get that feeling because a $4,000 assignment on a $6,000 purchase is pretty, it's a big deal. But at the same time, it's easier to explain to that seller when they're like, "Hey, what's this $4,000 right here?" And be like, "Look, I'm taking my profit up front. These other investors, we were going to partner on the deal or whatever, but I'm going to take my profit up front right now, and they're going to work this deal, and that's kind of how we worked it out." That's an easier conversation to have than going through the double close and losing half your assignment fee because you're paying 2 sets of closing costs. So I want to show that to you. Y'all be great. At the bottom of the screen, if you can see it, there's a r2rvegasmastermind.com. If you want to join our year-long mastermind, it's going to be 1 year mastermind, not just this Vegas one. We're going to have some GrowthCon tickets, I think. But anyways, check that out. Go to that. Fill out the information. Everybody that's filling out the surveys on there are getting calls from me personally, from my cell. So that's pretty cool. I like making the calls. I want to call more people. So jump on there, get that, and I will holler at y'all.